Muzan Kibutsuji is the main antagonist of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. He is the Demon King, the first of his kind, as well as the progenitor of all other demons in existence. Muzan is also the leader of 12 Kizuki, an organization of the 12 strongest demons in existence that served directly under him. A millennium ago, Muzan was turned into a demon while trying to cure his own terminal illness, and his goal since then was to live without the fear of death and become truly eternal. He plans to accomplish this in two ways: finding the blue spider lily or creating more demons in hopes that one day one would be able to conquer their weakness of sunlight. As the Demon King, Muzan can control all those who have assimilated his blood to become demons, with Nezuko Kamado, Tamayo, Yoshiro, and later Chachamaru being the only exceptions. It is later revealed that Muzan is one of the same bloodline as the family. Muzan is cold hearted, ruthless, intimidating, and exceptionally intelligent. He sees no value in any humans when he has encountered and shows little value in his own subordinates. Rarely ever visually upset or happy, he appears completely monotone and detached on most occasions, even when he callously murders his own subordinates. The only times he ever shows emotions are when his vision of perfection is moving forward or when he has subordinates completely submit to his will. The manga shows him to be more expressive, particularly when unranged, and his facial features are exaggerated, demonstrate as possible a way to display his normal, unreadable emotions. His inflated ego and delusional sense of self-worth are so large that he can't stand being mocked or corrected in any fashion, believing that others only exist to serve him. It also means he rarely ever takes any opponent or threat seriously. He brutally killed a pair of drunk men simply for being rude to him and killed their female companion when she had done nothing, all while proclaiming his own perfection and superiority over them, displaying his pettiness as he won't settle for any mockery and will do anything he pleases until the humiliation is remedied. When he confronts Kaguya Ubuyashiki, the man responded to Muzan in a tone of pity and sadness for the life he had led. However, Muzan only interpreted it as insults and threats, which further accentuates his hatred for humanity and the Demon Slayers. He also believes that heaven has let him off the hook for murdering thousands, as he has never seen a god or Buddha. The most prominent trait Muzan possesses is extreme narcissism, pettiness, and an obsession with being the perfect being. As he has had nearly 1,000 years to live and observe, along with hardly any real challenges, his extreme egocentrism is almost expected. He considers almost nothing to be his concern except overcoming his inability to walk in the sun, which is his primary drive. His long life and obsessions have caused him to want every plan he concocts to be absolutely perfect, and his God complex prevents him from seeing his own failures. His belief that he is the closest thing to a perfect being causes him to have zero tolerance for any failure, brutally punishing those who fail him or those he considers weak, and even if the failures are minor. Furthermore, his delusional sense of omnipotence is such that he compares himself to natural disasters, namely something that is far beyond what humans can compare to and fight against. As a result of this, he believes the Demon Slayers to be a group of deviants who cannot accept the natural order of things and resume their life as normal when other people simply move ahead following a tragedy. His analogy evidences his complete inability to feel sympathy or remorse for his actions, given none of the murders he ever committed were the result of an accident but carefully orchestrated acts of pure evil. Behind the myriad of facets Muzan displays, and completely offsetting his insatiable ego and lust for perfection. Muzan is unbelievably cowardly. He always avoids conflict whenever possible, as evident in his encounter with Gyu Tomioka and Tanjiro Kamado. He states that the duo managing to survive should already be sufficient and that they should just live to earn their wages and put a halt to the cycle of revenge. This trait also complements his manipulative nature, bending many demons to his will to do his bidding while he doesn't get his hands dirty. In the Sunrise Countdown arc, Muzan has attempted numerous times to escape, either by splitting himself or merely running away. He also remarks multiple times for the demon hunters to just die and not give up fighting, once again cementing his cowardly nature. He has shown to be fairly manipulative and cunning, being able to blend in human society normally, even having a family of his own to add. A long life and continued practice has allowed him to take on many roles in society and play them capably, including children and women should he choose to. This life has also given him great intelligence and ability to think tactically. Muzan is a quick thinker and strategist who is able to deal with unfavorable situations rapidly and quite well. Though this may also be because the loss of his subordinates means nothing to him in the long run. Because of his perceived superiority and his double faced nature, he feels little attachment to his henchmen, using them and discarding them as disposable pawns whenever he sees fit. He does not allow his subordinates to question him, regularly enacting brutal and ruthless punishments should they do so. Many of his subordinates, in turn, are deeply afraid of him and measure their words and thoughts carefully for fear of saying anything to displease him. He is able to sway many demons to his side with promises of power, revenge, and grandeur so long as they serve him. His intelligence and manipulation shine here since many find the promises appealing as he encounters many of his subordinates at their lowest point when their emotions are easy fodder for him. Alas, all of these promises are ultimately false, given that Muzan only cares about himself and he has no qualms about killing his own men to protect his own safety. When not hiding behind a facade, his sheer malice and overflowing violent intent are so incredibly malignant that they can be perceived by others. Most notably, Yorichi Sugikuni described him as being like boiling magma erupting from a volcano. Beyond his egocentric demeanor lies a sense of self preservation that easily overrides his megalomania, cursing his subordinates in a terrifying manner so that none of them would even utter his name, or else be killed instantly in a ruthless manner. When pushed into a corner, Muzan's typically calm, arrogant, and superior stance collapses, paving the way for panic and fear to take root as he desperately fights for his life, adopting more drastic measures to protect himself. This obsession with survival could well explain Muzan's brutal homicide of three villains after his first encounter with Tanjiro. Both times he was reminded of two major events where he nearly lost his life. Whatever Muzan's personal faults, he has repeatedly shown a very notable fondness for both high fashion and higher learning. Whenever shown outside battle, he comes in the appearance of an extremely well dressed individual. In his sorry, Tsukihiko guise, he dresses in a fedora and suit. On an interesting note, his wife Rei is shown in a cloche hat. In his Toshikuni guise, he wears button-up pants and dress shirt and shown doing a great deal of studying. When talking to upper ranks, he was casually mixing various chemicals, shown he had an expertise in chemistry, more than likely to create a medicine in order to improve his demonic physiology, to conquer the sun, and or not need to consume flesh and blood. Later, upon his defeat and final moments as he was burning by the sun, Muzan showed a much more vulnerable side to his personality as he slowly disintegrated to ash and lamented on his life and choices. It is revealed that Muzan's true fear of dying and immense desire to live and survive was due to him being born dead, where his heart would constantly stop in his mother's womb, and was assumed stillborn until he fought to breathe before his cremation. Muzan's desire for life and his near constant struggles while human constructed his obsessive ambition to survive, and he truly felt vulnerable whenever he was reminded of his human frailty. Even when on the brink of death, he is still utterly unrepentant of murdering and eating humans for 1,000 years, stating that he could not remember a single person he had killed. However, as Muzan reflects on his life while dying from sunlight, he came to understand and accept Kagaya Ubayashiki's words to him on the fact that everything inevitably dies and the only true immortal thing in the world are someone's emotions, feelings, and memories. This realization brings Muzan to tears and genuinely moves his heart, causing him to ironically adopt Yorichi and Kagaya's belief and focus on leaving something behind in order to truly become immortal. Abilities: as the first demon to exist and as the progenitor of all demons, Muzan is the strongest demon in existence and possesses tremendous power and attributes far superior to all of the 12 Kizuki. His immense abilities were best displayed when he was able to hold his own against five Hashira and Tanjiro Inosuke Zenitsu and Kanao at the same time. He is later able to put Tanjiro in a state of near death by using his poison in a single attack and would have nearly killed Mitsuri, an incredibly strong Hashira, had she not been rescued by fellow demon slayers. Gyomei, Giyu, Sanemi, and Obanai would have also been succumbed to his poison and died if they didn't receive antidotes from Chachamaru. After approximately 30 minutes of fighting against the Hashira, Muzan manifested leg whips which increased his attack speed exponentially to a point where he instantly defeated the exhausted Demon Slayers. However, it is later revealed that Muzan is gradually becoming slower due to Tamayo's aging medicine, which has been affecting him the entirety of the battle. Despite this, he was still able to easily defeat the Demon Slayers and hold the advantage over Tanjiro in this fight, who mastered sun breathing. Biological absorption: Muzan has displayed the ability to absorb, assimilate, and dissolve organic and inorganic objects, as seen when he began to absorb the flesh, seed, spike, branches pierced into his skin, or when he began observing Tamayo and dissolving her drug. This is also seen in how he planned to eat and assimilate Nezuko Kamado in order to obtain her immunity to the sun. He has adopted to become immune to being beheaded by blades created with sunlight imbued metal. He is also surely capable of adapting to poisons even better than upper ranks who became resistant to wisteria poison that kills normal demons in seconds. And he was able to adapt himself to resist drugs specifically made to transform demons back into humans. Combat form: when fighting, Muzan can adopt a more monstrous form with a dark red mask covering his limbs, featuring sharp toothed wide mouths, with his torso exposed. His hair becomes longer and messier. His speed, strength, reflexes, and power are greatly magnified in this form, to the point that despite having lost a great amount of stamina and endurance in fending off Tamayo's human transforming drug, he was still fully capable of easily outmaneuvering several raw ranking demon slayers and consuming scores of them within minutes of emerging from his cocoon. In this form, he is also strong enough to create massive craters in the ground or destroying entire chunks of buildings. The sharp toothed jaws and mouths located all over his body in this form not only serve as his main form of offense in battle, but also have the purpose of helping him recover faster since he can use the jaws to tear apart his opponents and eat their flesh, simultaneously killing his opponents and regaining his strength at the same time. Demonic blood. After consuming the blue spider lily, Muzan developed supernatural blood with special properties that can transform humans into demons once ingested. His special blood also seems to give rise to a plethora of special abilities unique to demons, such as powerful regeneration, the power to shapeshift, immortality, and accelerated growth rate, enhanced physical prowess, and even supernatural abilities called blood demon arts. Muzan can also further empower a demon by giving more of his blood enhancing their pre-existing abilities. However, this is limited to how much blood the recipient can withstand and adapt to. If a human were to take in too much blood from Muzan, their body would mutate faster than they can withstand, causing them to self-destruct into one giant mass of flesh before disintegrating into ash. The same would also presumably happen to a demon if they could not withstand the blood's effects, as implied by Muzan. Later, it was revealed that Muzan had learned to weaponize this particular trait of his blood by coating attacks in his blood. He could inject an opponent during combat with his blood through his wounds. The dosage would be too much to handle and instead act like a poison and destroy the human's body's cell shortly after they enter. It is later revealed by Kokushibo that users of total concentration breathing resist the effects of Muzan's blood more than normal humans. Some facts: Muzan's name contains the kanji for demon dance and miserable, pitiful, merciless. Muzan was both born and became a demon in the Heian period during the early 900s. After becoming a demon, Muzan settled down with five different women throughout the Heian period. However, because of his lack of empathy and sensitivity as a demon, he verbally abused all five of his wives to the point it drove them all to commit suicide. Kagaya Ubuyashiki has implied that the Ubuyashiki family are descendants of Muzan's original blood relatives, who, due to the family having birthed the original demon, were cursed with an unknown, incurable disease that has killed each and every family member, both past and present, before they could reach the age of 30. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, you can press the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, you can press the subscribe button as well.